Hey everyone, and we're live. What's going on, guys? It's Thunder and Lightning. I'm your host Dan, and of course, next to me is Nick. We have a fun show tonight since it is early tonight, an hour early, but it's worth it. Nick, what's up?
Well, how was your weekend? Were you able to dive into any Giants news, or you had a busy weekend, right?
Yeah, I had a uber crazy weekend,
The
but for
kids
the
were
most,
crazy, right?
yeah, they were feral cats this
Oh,
whole
feral
weekend.
cats this weekend. Oh my
They were
God.
feral, so it was all good. Nothing really to really talk about Giants wise, other than Neighbors is going to be on bubble wrap for the rest of camp, which is
Right.
obviously okay. If you're living under a rock by now, he had an ankle injury. The Giants said it was mild, so you know what that means he'll be out for the rest of the season. Just kidding, but not really.
Oh,
But
don't bring that bad juju on us. Come on. Didn't even start the season yet.
all jokes aside, Neighbors is going to probably be in bubble wrap for the rest of the camp, and I'm a-okay with that. Danny Dimes is starting on Saturday's game against the Texans, so that's
Heard,
good to
heard he
see.
struggled a little bit
He,
today.
he struggled a little bit today. All right, well,
We heard.
here we go again.
Here we go. But we'll get into that more. I think we're gonna do another Giant centric show this week, right?
Yeah, we'll try to find time for sure to get that going. Your favorite player is off PUP the other day, so let's see if he
My
becomes
favorite
a
bust player.
yes. So hopefully he becomes a awesome swing tackle or a guard. We'll see what happens with that. But the reason why we are here tonight, Nick, is because you have a good personal friend. This is not Nikki's real job, by the way, for everybody to know. Nikki is a popular and important and what other adjective can I give you? It's
Amazing marketer in the construction industry. And I do have a good friend coming on tonight who happens to be the official contractor for snow removal for MetLife Stadium. And we've got some really cool behind the scenes stories that we're going to hear. And we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Remember, Danny? Didn't we talk about this
Yeah, we
last week?
talked about it last week. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about it because it was really funny. The lead up to that week, it was like 10 degrees the whole week. And then Super Bowl Sunday, it was like 55 degrees. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. We lucked out. so,
All
yeah.
right. Are
So
you
we're going to
ready
bring them
to?
in.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's nerd out. Go ahead, bring them in.
let's bring in. Hi. Hey, Tom. Hi, Tom. How's it going tonight?
What's up, Danny? Hi, Nikki.
Hi,
So this is Tom. Yeah, Tom Canete, as we mentioned before. He's from Canete
Canete Snow
Canete.
and Ice
See,
Management. I
see,
should have done the intro.
I should. You should
Jesus.
have. Let's reboot. Nikki's gonna say it one more time. See, I told you this was gonna happen. But
Canete Snow and Ice Management, right?
Canete Snow Management. That's fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, Tom, thanks so much for coming on. So, funny story. Tom and I talked about doing this probably a year ago. So sometimes things take a little
Take a
bit
while.
longer,
Yeah.
but you eventually get there. But what I love about this is we get to give the audience a behind the scenes look because I think a lot of people show up on game day, especially in the winter, right? And magically, seats are clear, everything is perfect. They're able to park, buses can bring people in. And I think this will be cool because Danny's a season ticket holder. So, he obviously knows that there's work that goes into it. And I think a lot of people do, but sometimes they don't understand all of the logistics that go into it. And you and I have talked, and it is a massive undertaking and I don't know how you quite do it. I do know from being in the industry, but it's a lot. So, Tom, just give our audience like your background and how you got started, and then we'll move into some other questions.
Well, I got started actually doing snow when I was a kid. I was 9 years old, shoveling driveways. I remember specifically 9 years old, and out shoveling, and eventually I graduated to a snowblower, and I loved it. I had no school. I'd be out for blocks and blocks, 3, 4, 5 blocks from my house, doing everybody's driveway, making money. And then, my first truck I bought when I was like 16. Before you start driving when you're 17 in New Jersey, I fixed it up. It was an old '66 Chevy pickup,
oh
and that
wow,
was truck number one. So we're on truck 139. So I'm on my 139th truck. Just got it, and so it's a long haul. It's been a long haul since then, and we've been doing snow for a lot of years. And I have a great team. We're out of Wayne, New Jersey. So with MetLife Stadium, okay, we got a phone call back in 2013. I remember it being sometime in the spring of 2013. Finally, like I kind of had a feeling because I don't know the contractors that they called. I heard they called somewhere close to 20 contractors, and a lot of them backed off. Like, no way. That's huge. That's a huge undertaking. A lot of responsibility. And that year, February 2014, is when the Super Bowl was there. So I mean, you're getting a shot to possibly clean the snow for the Super Bowl, which we did. You know, we had to take 14 inches of snow out of MetLife Stadium a week before the Super Bowl. It was huge. We got that done. We took 2 days to get it all out. You know, so I remember come July. So the VP of Operation, his name was Dave. Him and I just kind of backed off in July, and we said, you know what? We got this. He goes, you're getting this. We want you guys, you know, because if they check the references, they want to check your equipment. They want to interview your staff and your team. So we went through all that. And now it's in the lawyers' hands. The lawyers are fighting over details in the contract and all that stuff. So in July, we just backed off. I go, listen, we got to start recruiting. This is July, you know?
Oh, yeah. You have to.
So my contract was for between 200 and 500 people. They can call me 2 to 3 day notice for 200 to 500 people. So look at it this way. You have somebody that comes on. We were recruiting everywhere. We had job fairs, and we were going to colleges and universities and municipalities. We're setting up tables. We got Giants and Jets balloons everywhere, trying to recruit for MetLife Stadium, right? And I hired a full-time person to do this. Okay, and it was great. We ended up hitting our mark, but to get 500 people in there, if they call, you need to have a list of 2,000, because in the middle of the wintertime, if they want you there at 2 a.m. and it's 10 degrees out and the snow is coming down sideways, that person in August that said, oh yeah, I'll be there. I want to shovel Giant Stadium. I want to be there. I'm going to do it. And this is in August when it's 80 degrees out. They're not going to, they change their mind when it's 10 degrees out. You know? So that's the odds. You're going to get 25% of what you recruit. That's what we figured out.
Wow. So
we had a lot of logistical work to do. So I had a consultant helping me put this all together, everything on our end. You know, we had software that say Nikki, you want to be text messaged, and Danny, you want to be called on a phone. So we can call Danny or text message, you know, Nikki, or email Joe Schmo, you know, whatever way you want to be communicated with. That we call it Amber Alert. That was 2-3 days out. Red Alert is the day before. We're going to be giving you the exact time that you need to report to the stadium. Okay, so we had software together that would call. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and it's like boom, it would go out to 2,000 people. The blast. You know, and it was this one person in our office that was with me for a few years that really helped get this off the ground. She's in the military now, so she actually you got to be military to work in the stadium. It's like that strict, you know.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
You got. Let me tell you something. You got all these people in there, and all the teams and the groups are anywhere from 20 to 30 shovelers per group, right? And when we first started, they only wanted one supervisor. MetLife is like, you can have one working supervisor per group. Luckily, being in there and building a rapport with everybody, I'm able to put 2 supervisors per group, okay? And they don't necessarily have to work. I tell them all, hold the shovel so you can guide someone. You can show them the proper way to shovel. You can motivate somebody. Just be there. And what the reason for this, and I had to point this out to them, like, look, there's my supervisor. He's at the bottom, okay? You got the top rep in the 300 section or whatever. Look way up there. Look what's going on up there. He's not watching. He's keeping an eye on the guys, the shovelers down here. He's not watching what's going on. You need 2 people. You need a supervisor at the top and a supervisor at the bottom, so that they can just keep an eye on the whole flock, you know, together. So that's what we're doing now. We have 2 supervisors per area, you know, and the teams are anywhere from 20 to 30 people, shovelers per team.
Did you feel like, Tom, when you first got the contract with MetLife, were you and the company, were you ready and prepared for that? Or was it like, I'm just going to figure it out, take it and figure it out?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it was, I swear, I remember it was December 13th. I think it was a Saturday. And I remember go into the stadium, and I felt like I was getting, deported to go to war. Right? Is that what we call it? Deported? No, it's not deported. I'm going to war, basically, because we had so many people in there, and it was a Saturday, right? And it was snowing, and they had a 1:00 Sunday game the next day. And we got the work done, but I learned a lot of lessons that night, and I figured out a lot of stuff. And then I got with the VP of operations in the stadium. We had a meeting that week, and the recruiter, was actually also my consultant. I want to help do the recruiting. So he was a big part of the beginning days, the beginning years of MetLife, So, we learned a lot of lessons and a lot of things, and things that now that we do that makes it very easy and seamless for us,
What was like your first snowstorm there? What was like your biggest mistake looking back now? Like, what was one of the biggest things you learned?
Okay. Well, it's not, I don't know if it's the biggest. I'll give you a few things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got the Jets logo in there.
I know.
There we go. We got the Giants background.
We got some Giants background, right? Well, I tell you what, certain things that nobody would think about is the bathrooms. So I had to tell them, listen, lock up some of the bathrooms. They had every bathroom open, and we were losing people from the team. They're going to the bathrooms. It's nice and warm.
Right.
And it's cold in the stadium, and it's cold. You're out working out in the element, and we're losing people. We go into the bathroom, they're all hanging out in there. So we had to constantly flush people out of the bathroom, literally get out. So I came up with something. I have a golf cart, okay? So I left it at the stadium for our first winter, second winter, third winter, right? And I called it the motivational cart, okay? And I would go to Restaurant Depot before any time they called us to go there. I would spend about $400 on stuff, snacks and things like that, and we would have it on there. And MetLife would give us those big cooler things that with the little dispensers on the bottom for coffee, or like hot chocolate or whatever. And I put that on there also, and it was working out well. So now what I did was the crew leaders were grading their 20. A team of 20 is better than a team of 30. Okay, it's more manageable. Mm-hmm. So they were grading, taking their teams and breaking them into a third. Okay, so the best team, they got to go to the motivational cart first. Okay, and I was the one driving the cart, because to walk, how many miles of putting on my work boots in that stadium during the snowstorm, walking around in there, I'm driving this thing. So, I'm going from section to section to section to section, and also with the bathrooms, they would let certain people, like if you're, the good team, go to the bathroom first, but they saw you got 10 people leave, and 10 people better be on their way back in 10 minutes, So we just had to break. You have some almost like military. You have to have rules and keep the people in line, or else they'll just get in trouble. And I don't know if did you know there's a full police station in that stadium?
I did.
Jail cells. It's run by the state troopers.
You've been in the jail cell, Danny? You get rowdy in your section?
No, I thankfully haven't, but I've known, unfortunately, people that have. And one of the perks of being season ticket holders, I've been able to do like the flag and stuff and other events. So I've walked past like the main offices and the other jail stuff. It was pretty cool. You don't realize, like you were mentioning, you don't realize until you see it firsthand of the operational game day of they are a well-oiled machine, and it's segmented to time blocks. So for example, when I did the national anthem, it was all right, this is what you got to do. You got to do here. You got to come here. You got to here. All right, at this mark, you guys are out of here, and the game is going on. And it's as if you would never think people like me and other people doing the flag, and it's just all right, this is another Sunday for these people, and it's just you have to be there at 8 a.m. to train how to do all that other stuff. And it's I'm it was cool to do once or twice, and then other times it's no, I just want to watch the game, because you don't get to watch the game when you do that stuff. So it's just the first couple of times we did it, I saw them running out of the tunnel, and I was holy crap, this is really awesome. But I'm this is definitely a one-time experience for sure. But I definitely get what you're saying with the military regimented scheduling time. It's down to a T.
Exactly.
And it has to be done. If it's not done, then everything is going to go haywire, especially with the NFL.
See, another thing, part of my contract is they do not want 200 to 500 people parking in the stadium, just coming in willy-nilly whenever they want to come in. So we had to hire, I have a Academy bus service. I'm sure you see their buses around. Okay. Yes. They're great. We've had them for the 11 years that we've had the contract, and they pick our people up, and we go through the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and PA, picking up our shovelers. Wow. So there's certain stops, and I have my office coordinates all this. It's great. They do a great job, and so all that has to be done within those couple days that before they need us there. Now the supervisors are allowed to the 35 supervisors that we put in there. They're allowed to drive. They can come in their cars and park, and they know they got to be here at a certain time. So that's fine. But all the shovelers, and they want everybody online at one time. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is, and it's good. It works out. Everybody gets a barcode, a wristband. They get scanned in. And lately they switched off. Like last year, there's no more wristbands, but the wristbands were there for 10 years. Now they're doing something with iPads. I don't know. Like I like the wristbands better, but it is what it is. Very strict. If you don't, you punch in and you get scanned in. If you don't scan out when you leave, you don't get paid. You've been in there shoveling for nothing. Yeah. So they got to remember.
So your supervisors can park. Your 30, 35 supervisors can park. Everybody else is getting bussed in. So then they all have to get in line and get scanned in all at the same time, right? So it's not like you're trickling in whenever you want.
Exactly.
Okay. And then same thing when you exit, like, is it a form, like a line? Everybody
sections.
Section.
Exactly. We pull out the 100 section and then 200 section, the 300 section. So they come out and, so it's not like everybody in one line. So we also started doing it, this past winter, because we worked in there 3 times. We also had hockey. There was a hockey event.
There's 2 hockey games this year.
So we had to clean some snow for the hockey event. Right. So we started staggering the time and the crew. So rather than having 500 people online, I wouldn't want to be the 500th person in the back of the line, standing there waiting to get my barcode on my arm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we started doing, staggering buses. There's anywhere from 15 to 20 buses that we hire to bring all our people in. Wow. So it's a big undertaking. It's a lot that goes into it.
So your office, and they're great, and I know that we've talked about it, and they coordinate a lot. Do you have just staff dedicated to prepping and recruiting and getting all that done, or do they focus their efforts summer on for this, or how does that work in your office?
Well, right now we're not. MetLife is not part of our normal daily regime right now. For snow, landscaping it is. We do the landscaping as well over there. So we're in there working, doing all kinds of stuff. But pretty soon,
MetLife office team.
Yes, I do.
You have to.
I do. I have it. Everybody's there, and we just have to hit the switch, and we go from green to white. And that's going to be happening this month in August. We'll start getting in touch with our supervisors and see who can work and who can't work. And I got guys that have been there the whole 11 years with us. They come back every year for it.
And the one thing you mentioned before, which is pretty cool, 2 years before you started the contract, the first snowstorm was on October. So that would have been crazy if you had the contract that year. It was like, holy crap. I remember that one because it was early October. And it was like a legit snowstorm.
It was.
That's why, in this industry, and I've done it for a long time. That's why you start, even with communities and properties, or even, you're just doing strip malls or anything with snow removal. You have to start now. You have to have all your ducks in a row, because you might get that one-off October, November storm, and you're like, uh-oh. I wasn't quite ready. My shovelers didn't show up. I've been there, so I understand.
Oh yeah.
It could really be a nightmare. You have to be so coordinated, and it's nice that you have a dedicated MetLife staff. Before we go on about snow removal, okay, so I know you do the landscaping there. Do you know anything about the turf there, or no?
We don't. The only thing I know is I told them I do not want to touch the turf. Back in 2013, I don't want to know anything about the turf.
Smart.
It's very expensive, and I don't want to be responsible for anything, But I do see what they do. They do a great job. They actually plow right over. They have padding that they lay down on there that allows them. It covers the field, and they go right over it. They have plow trucks and other snow removal machines that actually go right over the padding, and it does a good job. It cleans it off, nice, pushes it all to the outside, and then it gets scooped up from the outside. In addition to all the snow that we're putting down on the outside, see all that snow around the edges.
Yeah.
So that's from them, combination from them, and combination from us. So we have chutes that we set up, and some of the pictures I might have had a chute shown.
Yeah. I'll
that
get
that gets all the snow down to the field, So
hold on, sorry. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that right there, that's getting it down into the vestibule. So all the concrete inside, you wouldn't think, because it's not snowing inside, but there's a lot of snow inside. There's 22 skid steers inside that stadium, inside, between all three levels, that remove the snow. There's 6 snow melters that we use inside to melt all the snow. And nobody would know this. I didn't know it until 11 years ago, but you look at the walls and it looks like HVAC for air conditioned ducts and things like that, but it's not. It's just as wide. It's wide enough for a Bobcat bucket, and they just drop the snow in it, and it goes 3 levels down right below the stadium where it gets pushed out into the parking lot and removed that way.
Oh.
So between melting the snow to water and putting it through the chutes, getting it out, there's a big effort to get the snow out of the stadium,
Wow. So did they offer you the turf and you said no, or was that just like your?
They didn't offer it to me, but I told them, I said, I don't want to know nothing about the turf.
Okay. Because that's a hot topic. This turf and all the guys get hurt. And like Danny, you had mentioned World Cup is coming, so I wonder if they'll.
Yeah, that's going to be 100%. I don't know about the Giants and Jets, but for the World Cup, they have to have natural grass. So that's going to be interesting to see with enough time, because their last season they started with the newer field turf. So it's going to be interesting. In a couple of years, they're going to have to figure out, is it just for the World Cup that they're going to have natural grass? That's always been a big topic of discussion. Do the Giants and Jets go back to natural grass, because they did it early 2000 into 2003, 2004, if I remember correctly, and it was just it was a disaster because it was 2 teams just playing on grass, and it was just chopped up to pieces.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that in a couple of years, or it's just a World Cup thing, and we'll see what happens. But so the other thing I need to ask you, so I sit in 348. So if there's a big snow game, 348, row 17, 11, and 12, if those 2 seats are perfectly cleaned out for me, I would personally thank you for that.
I'll make a note of that. 348, section 1718.
We'll send it to his office, the MetLife team. Listen, make sure Danny's seats in section 348 are perfectly cleared. All right, so I think the most interesting thing is the Super Bowl. So we just finished the Olympics, right? And I watched the closing ceremony, and they hand the torch off to LA, and it's gonna be LA 28. And Danny and I talked about this, and they gave us a sneak peek. There's gonna be stuff at SoFi, and it's kind of so. What I thought was really cool, I just covered WNBA All-Star in Phoenix, and they had the WNBA bubble, right? Everything was in one spot. You could walk to everything. It was great as media. We said we feel like LA for the Olympics might be a little tough. Traffic will be a nightmare. And then we started talking about when New York hosted the Super Bowl. And Danny lives in New York. So the disconnect between the hype, it being, in New Jersey, obviously. And then, oh, by the way, a snowstorm hits, a couple days before. So how was that responsibility on you? Because it wasn't just and I'm not saying not every game is important, but the Super Bowl, you have people from all over the world coming in, and it's on you to get this snow out of there. So, and that was relatively new into your contract, right?
The first
year. First season.
So how did that feel? Was there immense pressure, or were you I can figure this out?
I only had two games or 2 storms practice before that, I think 2, maybe 3, and it was a challenge. But I'm like, you know what, we got this. I got a great team. So I mean, the NFL took over at the time. So MetLife Stadium and their staff, they're second in command. You know, they are the people we responded to. They had to take orders from the NFL now. So I did something. Okay, that first storm that we had on the 13th, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way to do this, to clean the snow. We're using shovels and this and that. So I came up with something. I had a snow consultant at the time, and I called him. All right. The next day, I called him on Sunday. Okay. The day after, I'm up all night working at the stadium, and I got this in my head. Okay. I call him up, and he did. I don't know which Olympics it was. It was something in the 80s or something like, or it could have been the 90s, 80s or the 90s. He did the Olympics, and he had the whole snow contract. My snow consultant, right? Okay. And he's like, Tom, I don't know what you're gonna do, because we basically did the same thing out there, this and that. So I took some piece of paper out, I took a pencil out, and I started drawing things, right? And I came up with, there's equipment that I came up with that I can use and buy, that I can knock down from 30 shovelers. At the time, it was 30 shovelers, not 20. I can get them down to 20 people, 20 shovelers, okay? And get the same work done, but more efficiently, okay? And sure enough, I did a Excel sheet. I did a whole PowerPoint. I did a PowerPoint on it, and NFL bought me all the equipment. They bought us all the equipment to do this. So the first storm that we had, it was that we started using it. This is after the first event. So this is into the second, third event. Okay, I'm looking around the stadium, and I see probably 8, 10 guys walking around with black jackets on. I'm like, who are these people? Right. So I radioed one of my guys. I'm like, who are these guys? Who are these guys walking around watching us? Because they're not MetLife people. They're they're Eagles. They're from the Eagles shovel team from Philadelphia. Come and check out what I came up with the NFL. Right. So it was great to see, like somebody, bought onto us, and it worked for years. We had the equipment. They gave us a room in the stadium. I had my mechanic go up there twice a year, winterize it, start it up, make sure it's all good to go. But then we had to have the people have to be specially trained that were using the equipment, or people, the shovelers. So they're not working on shovels. Some of the people are using the equipment. So that was challenging, because we didn't always get the same people every storm. So you have to train somebody new. But it worked out well, and it was pretty cool to see that.
How did they let the Eagles guys in there? How did they get in there, man?
They're friends. I don't know. They're friends.
You see that? Of course, the Eagles sent spies over to MetLife to see what Tom was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in Philadelphia. I see how this goes.
Exactly.
Are bitter rivals.
Yep. So, but when we got that, we had 14 inches of snow.
Yes.
And it was actually less than a week, maybe 5 days or so before the Super Bowl. We got that out in 2 days. We got all that snow out of there in 2 days. Gone. Out of there. I remember Super Bowl Sunday, they gave us 2 tickets, 50-yard line and the 100, right down in the 100. Nice. 50-yard line. We had great seats because we killed it. We made that place beautiful for it. We had that place so clean that they had us on Friday and Saturday before the Super Bowl, okay? They had us in there on Friday with those little janitor whisk brooms and those little things, to clean up any little grit, any little thing that you see on the concrete in between the seats. And on Saturday, they had all the package for the people that bought, were going. They had like cushions and earmuffs and all kinds of cool stuff. They had, we had to lift everything up and clean and spray down the seats. So we did, how many is it? Is it 85,000 seats and chairs in there? I think it's 85,000.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah. So we had that whole Saturday. I think I had 300 people in there just spraying the seats, and I had about the same in there the day before. So they made us do all that stuff, which is great. I had no problem doing it, but it was so cool to watch the Seattle Seahawks were in there, right?
Yeah, and the Broncos, yes.
Practice the day
cool.
on Friday. The Seahawk flying through the tunnel, coming out there, all the practice stuff that was going on in there was really cool. They had the flyovers with the helicopters and the fighter jets.
Cool.
So cool. Yeah, that was on Friday and Saturday. The jets and the helicopters and stuff,
So I want not really pivot, but also since it is MetLife and they had 2 events there, they had 2 WrestleManias. So obviously, if it was April, so there could have still been snow. Would you have been able? You would have been on that call for WrestleMania if it happened to snow those 2 events too,
right? Of course.
That would have been crazy too because you'd see them basically build up the stage and ring and everything else like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, Rio? How's it going tonight? By the way, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to follow us on TNL_NYG. Like and subscribe. We're doing a lot of fun stuff for our season upcoming for the Big Blue. Tom, as well, thank you for coming on. We're not letting you go just yet, but I'm just letting plug in everybody to make sure to hit the subscribe button for us as well. Nikki, what else do you have for Tom?
I think I just want to, plug his company for him just as a friend, because I know he runs a great operation over there. And Tom, I know you do a lot more snow removal than just MetLife. And I know you do a lot more landscaping. So if anyone is interested in working with you, how would they go about doing that? Like if they want to come on board this season, or do you just take, so I don't know how it works. Like, I mean, not on this scale for MetLife. I know like you have a recruiter that you use, like, and maybe for what you can tell us, like, I mean, you can't interview 2,000 people. So is it just kind of like, hey, if you're available, we call you. Do you need any experience?
No, just
how does it work? Get a
anybody
shovel.
Anybody that wants to apply, I'll give you the office phone number, or you can email us, and we'll get back to you right away. Definitely, because not only at MetLife, we have other operations for snow. So if you don't fit there, we're always looking for drivers for trucks, drivers for skid steers, bobcats, and loaders, and that kind of, shovelers for, other things other than the stadium, So, we have actually when it snows, we have 800 people that works when it snows, our snow operation. So always looking for good talent.
It's hard to find. How long is your contract with MetLife? So you'll be there the next few years, or?
I sure hope so.
Okay. Who are they going to get that's better?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and I would imagine you've had the contract for a while. Like we were saying, over time, you learn like how to get more efficient, right? And you learn like what it's going to take to be able to clear a stadium in in a day, or something like that. I mean, so I would say that you've learned over the years what's going to work and what's not going to work. And of course, this is how contracts work. You never know. Like they might say, okay, we're using somebody else. But generally, I mean, do you feel like you've got it down to a science now, or do you feel like there's still room for improvement, or things you personally like, oh, I want to try this year, or anything like that? Or are you pretty good with like how you're running everything?
I like the way it's going now. We're pretty efficient right now, and we get along great with the MetLife team and staff. The people that we report to, and it's not like you don't get the nervousness that I did the first few years. Right. So if it was a snow tomorrow, I'm like, okay, normal day at the office kind of thing. It's not a big deal. We got this. We could do it. We've done it. We did the Super Bowl. We pulled that much snow, 14 inches of snow out in 2 days.
I do want to say one other thing, especially going to games and everything. And I've been to a couple of snow games. You wouldn't know that it snowed and there's like 20 inches of snow outside the whole facility of MetLife Stadium and the areas are surrounding the parking lot and everything else like that. You would have no idea. And then once you walk in, you were like, it's snowing. You would never know. So like it's really incredible on the hard work you guys put in and put out on like overnight, like you wouldn't even know. And then that's just a credit to you guys for sure.
How do you structure the breaks?
We actually have to kind of go off of MetLife. They tell us when we can break, because there is a lot of groups, a lot of teams, and they start at one point and they end at another point. And they have one of the clubs, a Chase or the Lexus Club or something like that, or the 50 Club, and that's where they have they actually feed us pretty well.
They do.
You know, so they do. It's like not just like a hot dog. You know, like you're giving you chicken fingers, French fries, hot dogs. You're not getting steak or anything like that. But and plenty of drinks, things like that. So they do take care of us.
Yeah,
And
they definitely do.
they're great. They're great to work for. They really are. But I hope we stay there for a long time. I love having the account. It's a lot of work. It really is. We've done logistical work like training. Every supervisor that goes in there, on the average, it's 30 to 35 supervisors we hire per year. So everybody has to go in. It's a 4-hour minimum training. You have to be trained every single year. Doesn't matter if you've been there since 2013. You still got to go every single year, but you get paid. And sometimes they get us out in 3 hours. It's a little earlier, but you still get paid for 4 hours. So it's great. They take care of us, and it's funny. It's they're doing the PowerPoints, and they see me standing in there. Hey, Tom, can you remember that day? Or you want to explain a little bit why we do that? Because you got all new blood in the audience there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help them.
When does that start for your supervisor?
October.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually all the training is done by the end of October.
Okay.
So that one snowstorm in October, you guys would have been.
Listen, come on. Come on, we would have got that. We would have had that.
No, I know now.
Yeah.
Now you would have had it, but like imagine that was your first year, and then
that would have been tough.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
That would have been tough.
In the world, they would have figured it out. But a lot of these things is just sometimes learning as you go, right?
Exactly.
And you know what, we could do this and get a lot better. And I think it really, just me seeing it from the companies that I've worked for and the clients that I have, it's a thankless job. It's like Danny says, you show up for the game and everything but you have these guys have been up all night, hours, freezing cold, wet socks, wet gloves.
Yeah. It's horrible.
It's hard. It
is
a hard thing. But there's people that love it. They do it. They make good money. And, it's like, okay, you just got to suck it up for a day. What's hard is when you get hit back to back to back. I know we had
back to back. You want to get a little sleep in there, and that's the tough thing.
Yeah, I was trying to get sleep, and I remember it was years ago, and I was still doing community management, and it was one of the Februarys, and it was just back to back to back, and I'm going, oh my God, this crew hasn't slept in
I know
weeks. Like it was just, and we finally got a break. I think the whole company, it was like, oh, we're going on vacation. It's so tiring. So Tom, are you there through the whole thing, or do you have to go back and forth anywhere?
No, I stay the whole time we're in the stadium. There have been times where if it's under control, I'll leave because we have that Harmon Meadow Mill Creek Mall, which is right next door. Mm-hmm. So we take care of that. I'll pop in over there because there's a lot of people. There's like 200, 300 people that work in there. That's a big establishment there. So I'll pop in over there and then I'll pop back to the stadium. So, but that's not all the time. That's just once in a while,
That just remind me about American Dream. Do you have to worry about American Dream?
So we got called to help out at American Dream. You know what they wanted us to do? And we said, absolutely not.
What?
They want us to clean the roof off. That's it. Just the roof. I'm not doing that. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
You get up and try to do that,
Yeah, gotta be insured properly for that one. Which
are,
but that's a whole other conversation. So, but Tom, are you a football fan? Are you Giants fan? Jets
fan, of course.
Okay, all right.
Of course.
Okay. All right. So, have you followed training camp or preseason, anything like that with the team?
I'll be honest with you. No, just been working. I'm a workaholic, so I'm. Just not yet. I haven't really started my football season yet.
You haven't missed much, but you could definitely check out all our shows for sure.
Okay.
Way to plug it. Do you play fantasy football? Do you get into that or betting?
No. So I have my nephew works for DraftKings, so I got to hear about it all the time. He's on there all the time doing it. Doing his thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's fun. Well, do you have I know you didn't start your football season yet, but certainly we hope the Giants have a better season than last season. Do you have a prediction that you want to go with? How many games you think they might win, or think Daniel Jones is a little better this season?
I don't know. I'll plead the fifth on it.
That's confidence right there.
And plead the fifth. He's going to plead the fifth. Well, Tom, thank you so much for going on. Just tell everybody one more time, shout out the website if you want to, and we'll put your contact information in the show notes, and then I'll have it as well. Just because I know people are going to ask, I want to work with you. I want to, have a shot at it. So, and I know you're looking for guys to get filled for this season.
Well, listen, not only guys, but I tell you what, some of the best shovelers in there, honestly, are the women. Oh, they're very detail orientated. They do a great job, and we have some women that return every year that are great. We had probably last year, I'd say probably 10 of the supervisors were women too.
I'll let my wife know.
Yes, let your wife know.
There you go.
I'll be there. How about Danny and I go? We send
Perfect.
Send the Academy
bus. Podcast and from this live from the stadium.
You know what? I actually would love to do that.
There you go.
That would be so funny.
There you go. Yep.
So yeah, just tell everybody what you're looking for, like what your timelines are, how they can contact you, and then we'll make sure we'll get everybody's information over to you as well.
Okay. Just anybody that's that's not afraid to got a good commanding personality. That's can direct and motivate other people. And it's not afraid to be out in the cold. They don't have to physically work, but just motivate others.
I'm good at that job, though.
Yeah, there you go, Danny. You can do it.
So I'm going to say to send me an email, but I'm the worst person with emails. I'll give you my email address anyway, but my assistant, Erica, her email is production@canete.com. Okay. All right. Production@canete.com. I'm tcanete@canete.com. Or you can call the office. It's 973-616-SNOW.
Ah.
Yeah, 7669 is the SNOW. So 616-SNOW.
And you're looking for supervisors and shovelers, or
and shovelers? Yep, shovelers. We'll take truck drivers, machine operators.
Okay.
Anybody can run a bucket loader, skid steer, dump trucks. So.
CDL, right?
CDL or just regular licenses, for driving the mid-sized trucks.
Okay, I might have some guys for you actually, so
perfect.
I can send them your way. All right, so thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you giving us some time tonight. I thought that was awesome. And if anyone contacts us, we'll send them your way. And good luck this season.
Thank you very much. All right, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. We'll see you.
Bye.
Nikki, that was really cool. Once again, thanks, Tom, for coming on. Nikki, I know you're chomping at the bit what's going on this past weekend, but thanks again, Tom. It was really cool to see. Like I mentioned earlier, game days, you don't even know it's snowing outside, or we had like a foot of snow or 2 feet of snow. Once you get to the stadium, the seats are ready to go and you're ready to cheer on for the Jets or Giants. So kudos for all their hard work for sure, because like I've mentioned, you have no idea. You feel like you are in the middle of like there's a big giant bubble, no pun intended, of like what's going on around the tri-state area when you're at MetLife Stadium. So thanks again for Tom. We for sure will plug all his stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Nick, what you eat this weekend? Did you have anything fun or anything else like that?
When did I? Well, I went to the beach on Saturday.
Okay. So that means you had a smoothie.
I had a smoothie because you know what's happening? The smoothie bowls are melting really, really quickly. And so what it's becoming is like just liquid. It's not even going in smoothie form. It's just like then your fruit is like floating in this liquid, and it's just a little off-putting to me. Right. So I've just been on the smoothie kick. I've been going to Melonhead lately. So
Pliable, don't listen to her, right?
Well, Pliable hasn't given me a code. So no, Melonhead is good. There's one here in Red Bank. There's one in Seabright. They have this great watermelon smoothie. It's a watermelon mint smoothie. Ooh. It is so good. No, it's actually really, really good. I'm like addicted to it. All I can think about is this watermelon smoothie all the time.
The mint might be interesting, but the watermelon part sounds amazing.
Well, watermelon and mint do go together. It's not an overpowering mint flavor. Like, I don't want anyone to think that. It's just a hint of it, but it's mostly watermelon. And it's just so refreshing when you're sitting on the beach. And then just went out on Saturday. I had tuna tartare and one of my favorite salads and quite a few drinks. So, my Tito's and Club. and extra lime. So if anybody ever wants to get me a drink when they see me out, that's the one to get me.
All right. No.
What'd you have? 5 birthday parties? Like, but you said the
No,
kids were
not this.
crazy though. Like,
No, it was crazy. Saturday night we went out to dinner. My wife's aunt didn't see me for my birthday, so she wanted
ah,
to treat us to the birthday. And of course, it was the witching hour for my sons. The restaurant was wonderful. Beginnings in Atlantic Beach. If you're by me in Long Island, definitely recommend it. I had we like went all out on apps. It was awesome.
oh, what did
Uh,
you get? Come on, let's hear it.
so
Let's
we
go.
had pigs in a blanket. Obviously, that's a
Pigs
must
in a
get
blanket. Wait,
always.
why'd you say obviously? I didn't even know that that was offered anywhere other than like a
Well,
Super
this
Bowl party.
place makes perfect pigs in a blanket. It was
Is it like a
wonderful.
bar food type place? Like,
It's like a bar food place, like American Bistro. So it's like
okay.
part surf and turf, part like other stuff. It's very versatile. So that was really good. We had Italian bread with ricotta cheese and honey dipped like drizzled all over it with arugula salad. That was out of this world. We got the cornbread with jalapenos in it. That was pretty good.
I don't
And
like
then
cornbread. Ooh.
Nicole's aunt wanted the eggplant meatballs. So it's eggplant meatballs in vodka sauce with
Ugh.
dripped vodka sauce with fresh mozzarella, which was really good, out of this world. For dinner, me and me and my wife had we had the filet mignon sandwiches. Oh my god, it was so good. You wouldn't eat half the sandwich, but the steak was perfectly done. We got it medium rare, which was perfect.
There you go. Medium rare. All right.
So yeah, that had horseradish dressing. It had tomatoes. It had fried
Mm.
onion like crisps. It was like, oh my god, it was so good. You
Yep.
know when you like eat something and it's just out of this world. It was
No,
that.
not really.
Yeah, I know not for you, but for everybody that's watching, they'll know what I'm
Well, this
saying.
is an
Like,
amazing plug for the restaurant. I'm sure
yeah,
it's
no, the,
great.
the restaurant has to hit us up. But then again, my sons were out of control,
What
but
did
in a
they?
good
What
way.
did they have? Like chicken fingers, like kids.
Anne had chicken fingers and Johnny had pasta with butter sauce, and it was just like they even though our phones with TV couldn't like handle them, and it was just like,
Really?
yeah, I don't know what happened that night. It was just, I think also for whatever reason the air conditioning at the restaurant wasn't full blow yet. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just like we were getting
Hot.
overheated. They were getting tired and like, where's our food? Where's our food? Where's our food? So and then it was just like, if anybody was next to us, I'm sorry, because there was like a surprise birthday next to us, but thankfully we finished before they actually had their real meal. But yeah, it was an adventure. It was like we went to me and my wife went to war after. Once we got back, it was just like, all right, you guys are going to bed, and like we're just like, ugh, thank God it's
You're just
over.
done with them for the day.
So
Like,
and then yesterday, we had pizza because my mom and wife went to Jersey actually by you. My aunt needed to go dress shopping for another wedding in November, so they went dress shopping, and we're like, I'm like, I'm not in the mood to cook. They're not in the mood to cook, so we just took out pizza. Very basic. Tonight is what's waiting for me is homemade chicken lo mein. I love chicken lo mein from basic Chinese restaurants, and my mom makes amazing chicken lo mein. So that's calling my name in any minute. So I'm
all
pumped
right. Well,
about
we got
that.
to get you to get your chicken lo mein. So I'm guessing because the kids were bad, you didn't have Ralph's.
No, see, I had a curveball. I'm like, I go to my wife. I'm like, I'm getting Ralph's tonight. I'm doing it.
Oh, you're getting Ralph's tonight.
No, last night.
Last night. Okay, so did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I was like, dude, we're getting it.
You're just like, I don't care if they're bad. Like you're just, that's it. Like it wasn't riding on Johnny to
No, it
be
wasn't
there.
riding on him this week. I'm like, dude, I just
All right.
need
Did you
ice.
get your water ice that you didn't get last week, or you went different?
I went rainbow ice last night. I just like I needed that refreshing water ice. I didn't really want the ice cream style ice. So yeah,
Okay.
Ralph's. If you're in Long Island and a couple spots in Jersey and Staten Island, you know how awesome Ralph's are. So Ralph's, hit us up. All jokes
Ralph's,
aside,
Melonhead, Pliable, and where did you go? What was it called?
it's called Beginnings in Atlantic Beach.
Beginnings in Atlantic Beach, and I was at Nicholas Barrel in Roost in Red Bank on Saturday, and their food is really, really good. So any of those 5 places that we frequent, feel free to hit us up. All right, well, you go eat dinner. I'm just going to eat a salad tonight. Again, thank you to Tom and his team at Canete Snow and Landscaping. I know from being in the industry, it is a massive, massive undertaking. I think we all have a new appreciation for what goes on behind the scenes, right? Because that is a thankless job, and it's certainly something that I would not do, and I don't think you would do it. I've been on the supervising side, but I've never been the one out there like shoveling.
No,
and
you're
so
definitely getting your long johns out, your hand warmers.
you
Feet
are
warmers.
layered up. Yeah, I mean, Danny, maybe I'll see you as a supervisor there.
Yeah, well, you never know. For sure.
You just have to motivate people. I mean,
just motivate. All right, people, come on, let's do it. You can do it.
You can drive the motivation golf cart with the hot chocolate. I think you could do that.
No hot chocolate for you. You didn't shovel quick enough.
I don't like hot chocolate.
I could take it or leave it.
Oh my God. We might agree on something.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it.
Like if somebody gives it to you, are you just like meh? Like,
no, I'll take it.
I'll take it, but you won't some people, they go to Starbucks and Dunkin' and they order a hot chocolate.
No, I wouldn't do that. It's just too sugary and watery.
Chocolatey. Yeah, that's the thing. It's too watery.
It has to be from home.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. All right. Well, Danny, take us home. Where can everybody find us? We're on multiple channels and platforms.
We're on multiple channels. We are live on our personal channel, TNL_NYG. We're going to be up on that sports network as always. Monday nights is the Seinfeld sports show about nothing. Once again, thank you for checking us out. As always, socials. NYG on TNL_NYG. It's been one of those days.
My God.
Fumbling the bag. But anyway, TNL_NYG. And thanks again. We will see you later this week. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys. Good night.